Howdy everyone, petedaddy here. Today we had the ratings reveal for all of the new icons in FIFA 21, so I wanted to go through those, let you know who I'm looking forward to playing with, who maybe looks meh, and who is just complete garbage. But first, I've got a 94 plus Team of the Season player pack to open. I am still grinding for that Neymar, hoping I can spend the last 2 weeks of FIFA 20 with Neymar. Please bless me with Neymar one time. Come on, gonna be German, gonna be a Cam, and it's gonna be Havertz, and we actually already have Havertz, so duplicate, untradeable Kai Havertz. Thank you to the new Chelsea man. Complete garbage. Oh well, we'll wait on that. We'll do something with that later. We'll roll him into a 94 plus, but let's just get right into the icon ratings. Although, hold up, if you're new here, please make sure to subscribe down below. I would really appreciate it. And definitely check the description. I've got a link to my Discord server there. We're having a lot of fun there. We're going to have a lot of FIFA 21 discussion, so please come and join, add to our FIFA community. But let's get right to it with an icon I'm actually looking forward to. I thought about kind of putting these in order of least favorite to most favorite, but I thought let's start with one I'm kind of looking forward to. One of my favorite real-life players, and this is Chavi. Now, just what an absolute legend of the game. I was a little worried that his card would not be usable in FIFA. You know, sometimes you have these legends of the game like a Pirlo or someone like that that maybe their game just doesn't quite translate to the video game style, but I think they actually did Chavi pretty well. You can see there his pace is reasonable with 81. I'm looking at his prime 93 card. And where I think he's going to play is he's going to be a two-way CDM, you know, someone in a 4-2-3-1 playing one of your CDM roles, the one that you're going to ask to be more box-to-box, or in a 4-4-2, I think he could still play CM. I don't think he's going to be able to play Cam. I don't think he'd be able to play out wide. I just don't think he'd be that. So I think he's going to have a very specialized role in the game, but I do think he could play that really well. I see his dribbling is pretty nice. You know, we don't know exactly what's going to happen with agility and balance and how important that'll be in FIFA 21. But, you know, he's got the stats right there, and also decent shooting. You know, I feel like he could still bang in a few goals for you when you need him to. And his defense and physical, now physical may let him off a little bit, you know, make him somewhat of a liability on defense, but I think he's going to have enough to give you on the offensive side of the ball to make him worth it. Will he be someone that you really go to? I think he would be great if you could somehow get him early, but I feel like Team of the Season time, this is a card that would probably fall behind. I do like how on his base card, his pace is the same as his prime card. I almost would rather have his base card than his mid card, which is strange. Now, I know the passing is better on the mid, but I mean, pace is so important in the game that I just feel like the pace difference would almost make the base just as usable or more usable than the mid version. So I think Chavi would be usable, but I don't know that he's going to be someone that's going to be your in-game CM. He's not going to be someone like Hullet or someone like that. Now, that's kind of a different role there. I'm just saying, if you got Prime Hullet, you can plug him into your team from the beginning of FIFA to the end of FIFA. So Chavi is a nice card, just not someone that I think is going to have the staying power. Well, let's go on to another one. Another one I'm kind of excited about, and this is this Vidic card. He does look like a pretty strong center back, especially, and this is another one they've kind of done similar with pace. If you see his base version has 77 pace, then his mid version has 70 pace. So it's a little bit weird. So he goes from 77 down to 70, then his prime goes all the way back up to 78 pace. And, you know, as we all know, pace, everything in FIFA, pace is so important to that. And then you see there on his prime, his defending is 93 and physical is 91, which is really strong. However, I feel like you'd probably have to put a shadow on him to make him usable throughout the game. You know, we don't know the spreads yet of acceleration and sprint speed, but let's just say for easy purposes that it's 78 acceleration, 78 sprint speed. If you put a shadow on him, that'd make him 93 acceleration, 88 sprint speed. So this is another one who's maybe, you know, not going to stick through Team of the Season. He's going to be one that does you really well early in the game if you were somehow able to get him. But I don't know that he's going to have the same staying power like some of the other center backs may once Team of the Season gets here. So these are two icons, Vidic and Chavi, that I think will be good for you if you're able to get them, but I just don't see them having that long-term staying power. Now we're getting to one. When I first saw this card, I was just like, I'm not even interested in this one. This Suker card right here. But the more I've looked at it, the more I've gotten a little intrigued by it because I feel like this card may be one that's not very pricey, but especially if you look at the prime version, he's got decent enough pace with 85 pace, 91 shooting. He has better passing than a lot of icon strikers do. His dribbling is 90, and then he has good physical. So I think this card may actually be more usable than when I first saw it. I thought he was just going to kind of be in that Shevchenko or Stoichkov, solid but not very good. But he may be decent in game. I don't know. I'm thinking he'll be at least better than Vieri or Inzaghi or some of those that are out there. But I just don't know that he's really going to have even staying power past like Future Star or something like that. So I guess I see Vidic and Chavi as someone that could make it to Team of the Season. Then maybe try to replace him with Team of the Season players. Suker, I see more as someone as maybe if you somehow packed him, he would maybe be nice early on. But I just don't see him having much staying power at all. But I think he could be usable, just nothing's too exciting. Now, one I was really excited for was Ashley Cole, and I think he can make a pretty phenomenal left back, actually. Now, this is one that they've done where he's only got an 89 rated prime version, but I think he's got a lot of the stats that will do amazing for a left back. He has 89 pace, but then you see his physical is a little low, which is not uncommon on a left back. A lot of left backs, I mean, especially if you look at like Roberto Carlos or someone like that, some of these left backs do not have a lot of physical. I wish he did have a little bit more physical. If that was like 88 defense, 85 physical, then that could maybe be something that could put him to that in-game echelon of left backs. But I do really like this Ashley Cole card. So this is probably the first one that I see that could potentially have staying power through Team of the Season next year. So this one could be worth grinding for. I believe we're going to have SBCs back. If this one happened to show up in icon swaps, this one may be worth going for. Now, the one thing is, we don't know the acceleration sprint speed spread again, like I said. But if you could somehow put an anchor on him and boost that physical a little bit more, then he definitely could have staying power because he's got the 83 passing and 83 dribbling. And I've tried to stress this all year. Wing play is so important in FIFA. You've got to have fullbacks that can make those passes up the wings. They don't necessarily have to jump into the attack and play like Trent Alexander-Arnold and Andrew Robertson do, throwing in crosses and trying to get into the goal scoring areas, but you need them to get to that halfway line or be able to make those long passes up the wing to like kind of whip it around the opposition fullback. So wing play is so important, and Ashley Cole has a lot of the things I look for in a left back. Just a little concerned about the physical, and also because you may have to put a shadow on him, which would not boost his physical at all. But a really, really strong card. This is the first one I'm seeing that could potentially have Team of the Season staying power. Now we're on to another one that could. Now, this one is weird. Petr Cech could be the best goalkeeper in the game next year, or he could be the worst. I mean, keepers in FIFA are just completely strange. I remember back in FIFA 18, I think it was 82 rated at the time. Maybe it was 70. His rating has fluctuated over different FIFAs, but Begovic was one of the best keepers in the game. People at Team of the Season time were still playing this gold Begovic. So keepers are weird. You just never know which keeper is going to kind of catch on or be meta in the game, but this Petr Cech, especially if you look at his prime card and use a basic chem style on him, but a basic chem style would make him 99 diving, 98 handling, 90 kicking, 99 reflexes. I don't remember exactly. I think speed is +5, plus something like that. His speed would go up, so it's not bad speed for a keeper. That's more speed than Ter Stegen has. 92 positioning, so I mean it would go to 99. So that 91 Petr Cech would be really strong, but it could be weird. Like I know, was it FIFA 19? The Van der Sar, mid Van der Sar was better than prime Van der Sar. So you just kind of never know with keepers in game. It's going to take some games played with some of these keepers to know who's going to be the best one. but Petr Cech could certainly be right up there, and I'm really happy to see another icon keeper, because sometimes you just need an icon keeper to kind of link your center backs, especially if you've got someone like, if you wanted to put Virgil van Dijk and Sergio Ramos together. I mean, of course, you could use Van der Sar for those types of links, but it's sometimes nice to just have an icon keeper to link everything up, and maybe having Cech out there with Van der Sar, with Schmeichel, with Yashin, and with who's the layman, so you have another icon keeper choice. Maybe that'll keep the cost of the icon keepers down a little bit. I don't know, but I'm certainly excited to see Petr Cech, and like I said, he could be the best keeper in the game next year. Really hard to say. Now we're getting to one that I'm a little concerned about. Schweinsteiger is one of those types of players I've talked about, that epic player in real football. Game just doesn't translate quite that well to FIFA, the video game. You can see on his prime card, he has 76 pace. The other stats are absolutely amazing. However, I'm thinking you're not really going to want him to be your defensive midfielder, so I'm thinking you would maybe have to put a shadow on him, which would boost his pace and his defending. But then, I don't know, he may be epic as more of a CDM and not necessarily the get forward CDM. I don't know, and he also may be a little bulky in game with the 86 dribbling. I'm a little concerned about Schweinsteiger, and also on his base version, they made him a left mid with 80 pace, and so generally on your left mid and right mid, that's especially early in the game, you want those guys to be your speed demons. I mean, if you look through some of the pace ratings at CM and KM and Striker, you just don't see that pace, but your LM and RM, you see mid 90s, high 90s all the time, so you generally don't want to waste your LM spot with someone with only 80 pace. So I'm a little concerned about Schweinsteiger. I just don't see this card being really strong. He may be solid, but I just don't see a lot of people playing with Schweinsteiger. Now we get to Schweinsteiger's Countrymate, and I think they did him really, really dirty. Lahm. I was really excited when I saw he was announced as an icon. I was like, okay, this is going to be the new premier right back, going to be the best right back in the game. However, if you look at his 91 card in the middle, his prime card, the pace is fine. It's 87. I would want to boost that with a shadow because, your fullbacks, you're going to want them to be as close to 99 pace as possible. But look at that physical, 73 physical. And I feel like that's just going to be so hard to put out there, especially team of the season time, when you start seeing wingers and all these forwards that have like 80, 90, 95 plus strength. I feel like they're going to just be able to bump them off the ball too easy. When like I talked about, wing play is so important in FIFA. So if you're controlling your fullback and someone's making those passes down the wing and you're trying to like body jockey with your opponent's winger that's coming down and you can't move them off the ball, then that's a big deal. You need someone that can muscle them off a little bit. I know early in the game we may not have those types of fullbacks that have that strength, but like I said, when I first saw Lahm was introduced, I thought that was just going to be the creme de la creme, the best right back you could have in game, because just think of how epic Lahm has been in real football. But just that physical, I think, may kill him. The rest of the card looks great. 87 passing, 87 dribbling. The shooting, I'm not worried about. The defense is great. Just that physical, I'm very worried about that as far as him being really strong. Now, Lahm may be someone you could put at right back and you move him into the midfield. We'll just have to see what some of his other stats come out to be. But I'm just a little bit worried about him playing right back with those types of physical stats. So we'll just have to see once we get the rest of the stats. But little bit concerned about that. Now, like I said, he could, if that was, I see his 89 rated card is actually a midfield card. If that 91 card was a midfield card, that could be a pretty strong card. But just pretty worried about that one for one that I was really looking forward to. Now we're getting into some of the ones I am really looking forward to that I think could have some staying power. Now, the first one's a little bit iffy, but this Fernando Torres card I think could be really strong. I'm a little bit concerned for me personally with his passing. I play a 4-2-3-1. Who knows if I will play that again in FIFA 21. We'll just kind of have to see how things play. But typically always I have my striker as someone who ends up making a lot of assists. So passing stats for a striker are important to me. And his prime on Torres only has 77 passing, but we don't know the spread. That could be vision 92, short passing 94, long passing 95, and then curve I think is one. Our free kick accuracy I think is maybe in passing is 27. I don't know. So we don't know the spread yet. I'm just kind of going by the face stats, but seeing the face stats, the passing worries me at least as far as staying power. But what I do like, the pace, the shooting, the dribbling is getting up there. I'd like to see that a little bit higher. And also the physical. So he's going to be strong. I think Fernando Torres could be a strong card, but I still don't see this one having that staying power. Now we're going to get to the big three, the ones that I think are going to be overpowered in FIFA 21. Starting with Puskas. He has a really strong card, especially just look at his prime 94. 91 pace, 96 shooting, 91 passing, 92 dribbling. And when I see stats like that, the first thing that comes to my mind is engine. And so that would make his pace, just using base stats, 91 to 96. Passing would go up and his dribbling would go up because his shooting is already so high that you don't necessarily need to boost his shooting. But again, we'd have to see the spread. So I think if you could put an engine on him, and also his physical is already really nice at 76. So, and this is another one. If you just look at his base 89 version card, that is a really strong card there too. So this is one where we're getting to the base card could be really strong. The mid card would be really strong. So you just got a lot of options. I feel like all three of these Puskas cards would be really strong. And that prime 94 Puskas, that could be another Eusebio type, a Cruyff type, someone like that. This Puskas has a lot of staying power. And I think he could be one of the main new, big 5 or 6 icons that you're hoping to get. Well, time will tell. We don't know if he's gonna. Maybe they'll give him 1-star weak foot. I don't know. There could be something that completely kills him. But I'm just saying, just looking at these face stats looks absolutely insane. So I'm really looking forward to that one. Now we're getting to the king. You know who the king is, King Cantona, and I feel like they really did Cantona strong. I was kind of almost gonna say dirty, but they didn't do him dirty at all. They did Cantona really good, in my opinion. I feel like this is going to be an epic card. And we don't know exactly how FIFA 21 is going to play, but if it's kind of back to where you need that strength in the box, you need someone that can hold people off, then Cantona's card could be absolutely monstrous. I mean, he's got 89. I'm looking at the middle card there, but that's his prime version. 89 pace, 93 shooting, 90 passing, 93 dribbling, 92 physical. So I think Cantona is going to be able to just bully some defenders in the box area, going to be able to hold them off. I think they really gave Cantona a strong card. I think this is one that can have some staying power. The big key, though, will be how the game plays. He may still be a little bulky. I know he's got 93 dribbling, so we'll see exactly how FIFA 21 plays. If you've got to have those quick, agile dribblers in the box like you did in FIFA 20, maybe he's not quite as strong. And that's just one reason I'm rating him slightly below this next player. This next player is the one I'm really looking forward to. This is my number one icon I'm looking forward to, and that is Eto'o. Now, Eto'o is one of my all-time favorite icons of all time. He's kind of like on that Drogba level in a way, Zlatan level in a way. Just these guys, I just love their game. He's got that attitude. He's got that swagger. So I've always liked Eto'o, and I think he's got the card to match. I think he's got a really strong card. The one thing is the passing is a little bit off, but it's still up there high enough where I think it can be usable for a striker. But I'm looking at his prime card, 95 pace, 93 shooting, 81 passing, 90 dribbling. So this may be one you could put a sniper on, boost that shooting, boost that dribbling up to epic levels. The 95 pace should already be enough to get around people. And I think he's going to be more able to dribble in the box. Plus, he's got 83 physical. So I think this Eto'o card is going to be really strong. Plus, the other thing I like about it, look at his 87 card. 94 pace, 89 shooting, 86 dribbling, and 80 physical. I think that could be another monster base icon card. So I think this Eto'o could be a really, really strong card, and that's the one I am most looking forward to play with. So I'm really excited to try this Eto'o out. That's the main one I'm looking for. Let me know down below who you're looking for. But this is going to wrap it up for me for now. If you're new here, please make sure to subscribe, follow me on Twitter, and join the Discord server. But I will see you guys soon. Bye.